like to call the meeting to order. If we could have a roll call, please.
Mr. Pettis? Here. Mr. DiCario? Here. Ms. Clemenza? Mr. McDonald? Here. Ms. Mancini? Here. Mr. Trotter?
Here. Here. Everyone, we have no one. I back there. Okay. Hi, Cindy. Can you come up and lead us in the place?
You're next. Okay, let us just call on the name of the Lord. Father God, we thank you that truly you are the God who hears and answers prayer. Father, for you tonight, and it's a sense of joy that we get this community and serve one another. I ask for wisdom, for decisions that need to be made. I ask you, Father, for grace to work together. I ask you, Father, that in all things, that this community would come together, that there would be growth, and there would be ideas, and that Father, this time would prosper, according to your word, that says that we would be in health and prosper, even as our soul prospers. This night, Father, and we commit all things to your watchful care. In the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen. If everyone would stand for the salute.
I pledge to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we get to the visitor section, I wanted to make a statement here that from now on, when we advertise, there will be an ending date when council advertises any point are needed. And it would be right in the advertisement. I'm going to say that I'm sorry for any confusion that might have happened in the past. Whether the date wasn't set in the original advertisement, from now on, council will. Secondly, when something was discussed previous session, we did not come out and extend that in public. So, as we go through this meeting, council is going to, has said that we will, for the sake of transparency, rescind previous appointments, and we will open up the appointments again that will be voted on. So I wanted to let everyone know that sometimes when things aren't done, haven't been done, or done incorrectly, and again, I'm sorry that for the confusion, and we're not going to operate that way. Anytime something comes to light, you correct the problem and you move forward. So our first visitor is Pastor Cynthia Antonazzi from Dayton.
Okay, thank you. I'm kind of excited. I hope I'm a bearer of good news. I'd like to announce, and I wanted you to hear it first together as a board, as a council. Dayspring Harvest Ministries was awarded a license to build a radio station. And it's going to be a low-powered, 100-watt radio station that'll be for the community within 20 miles. And I'm passing out these papers, and on the back it has the geographical region. And it's going to be a community, much like WFEM was, that we had before. It's, you get the paper, there it says common unity. And I like the way play on words. And we would like it to be a radio station that would promote unity, that would be informative, bring our culture to bear on one another, our activities through a low-powered radio station, I believe would give public awareness and get us together. And if you look at that paper, it is, even though it's been awarded for an organization, and Dayspring holds the license, and we will have helping set the culture and help set the organizational part of it, it is not going to be a, quote, Christian radio station per se, where you look for our day of Christian music or something like that. It's going to be covering sports, it'll be broadcasting for the weather, It will be local news. It will be just about anything that we can come together and think that would be a benefit to the community. There's no end to the possibilities that we can do. We need to make coverage, and we need funds, obviously. As nonprofits, we take our names very seriously. Non-profit. Don't always get a lot of money for these kind of things. But it will be hopefully in the time grow and have a paid manager, have a paid staff, things like that. So you can look over that, and you'll see that there is a place where people can send some funding in. This is probably my website. The radio station will have its own website. Everything's self-supporting. If anybody wants to go there, there's a little survey. Right now I'm putting together a that will be made up of community leaders. And if anybody's interested, and if anybody has interest in a radio station, whether it's or reporting or research or anything that has to do. I will tell you, I'm really learning. I'm learning. I've been working with Bob Erwin, and he has a dream. He's the one who brought this to my attention. He walked in a year ago and said he wanted to start a radio station like we used to, and he wants to net this county all together. He tried to get together many communities, and so and I were the only two. The hardest thing to do with this was get your license. And we got it. And it took about a year. They've had this nonprofit, closed up for 15 years. They opened a small window. You could apply, do your work, and apply for 2 weeks. And it opened, applied, and we walked through it. Rich Figueroa. He's helping, and we work together with Bob, and this has just been a miracle. It really is. And so I know I never really wanted a radio station, but we got one. So it'll benefit us all. So anyhow, with that information, look over it. If you have any questions, please let us. Thank you.
Thank you. That's good news. All right. Approval of minutes.
A motion would be in order to approve the minutes of the reorganizational meeting held 1/6/14, the regular meeting held 1/20/14 as submitted.
Motion by Mr. Chiappetta, second. Mr. DeCaria, in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of outstanding vouchers.
A motion would be in order to approve the prepaid voucher list dated 2/11 in the amount of $143,883.36. The list of vouchers to be paid dated 2/13/14 in the amount of $203,354.18.
We have a motion to approve. Mrs. Lemenza, second. Mr. McDonald, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Department reports.
A motion would be in order to approve the departmental report minute.
Motion made by Mr. Totteridge, second. Mr. Chiappetta, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Bid openings.
None.
Ordinances.
None.
Any resolutions?
None.
Okay. Appointments, resignations.
Needs to show that we're going to open up that position. We'll do that at the time under new business.
We'll do what I said we were going to do right now. If
Right. I'd like to make a motion in the appointments that were made at the January 20th, 2014, and re-advertised for applications to be received or post-March 10th of 2014.
Motion made by Mrs. Second by Mr. Totteridge. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Committees of Council, Finance, Mrs. Mancini.
A motion would be in order to exonerate the tax collector from further collection of the 2008 real estate taxes charged to her. The tax collector has accounted for all monies as either exonerated or liened in accordance with her report.
Motion to Mrs. Lemenza, second. Mr. Totteridge. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Transfer to general fund from sewage collection fund.
A motion would be in order to approve the transfer of $8,405.07 to the general fund from the sewage collection. This cost is associated with storm sewer work done throughout the borough for the period through December 2013.
Motion to approve. Mr. Totteridge, second. Mr. McDonald, all in the aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. In public safety, Mr. Totteridge. Borough to pay co-pay for hepatitis A and B and pneumonia shot.
Motion would be in order to offer hepatitis A and B shots to employees in the police, electric, and wastewater treatment departments, and pneumonia shots to the employees in the fire, public works, electric, wastewater treatment, and administrative departments. Approved that only the co-pay to receive these shots from the employee's physician will be paid by the borough.
We have a motion to accept. Mr. Totteridge, second. Mr. DeCaria, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have,
I have a question, Mr. Prince. I thought of this afterwards. The police have the co-pays. Do we need to have them on this?
We've included the police only because we thought it was necessary to include in requiring the shots for hepatitis or pneumonia.
There's a separate fund that pays their co-pay.
Yes. So it would only be applicable if there was no co-pay. And for the other departments, you would have to impose the co-pay for the police.
Okay, so you're saying we will not replace co-pay because it's under their separate fund.
The borough will be paying it.
Well, yeah, we paying it, but it would come to HRA, not as a separate.
Okay, it doesn't quite say it here that if the police is going to be coming over there. But that's what I wanted to know.
Legally, we're responsible for that because of their contact with the public. They are constantly in contact with public people. It may be being spat upon or some other disease they could pick up. At the day, we're responsible for it regardless under the Occupational Disease and Compensation Act of the state. We're responsible for all of our people.
Not denying that. I was just saying they have their own
No,
fund
but we're
to pay
responsible
co-pay.
for the cost. And I think it's advantageous for us to take care of that for them.
That's the intention.
motion and a second. Okay. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Public Works, Mr.
A motion would be in order to advertise the sale of a 1995 GMC bus.
Motion to accept. Mr. McDonald, second. Mrs. Lemenza, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Recreation, Mr. DeCaria. Does anybody have a problem with vote all these at the same time after the rest? Okay.
A motion would be in order to approve the following. The request by PA Pre-K Council, shelter number 5 on May 31st from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. The request by the Ellwood City Community Enrichment to hold an Earth Day celebration on April 26th from 10 p.m. They are requesting Ewing Park, including use of the shelter, stage, and restroom. The request by Ellwood City Community Enrichment to hold the Storytelling Festival on 20th from 3:30 to 7:30 p.m. They are requesting the use of shelters 2B, 3, the stage, restrooms, and the loop to be blocked off to have the Ellwood City Volunteer Fire Department to manage a campfire. The request by the Little Wolverines to use the soccer field and the outfield of the men's softball field park from July 21st through November 10th, Mondays through Fridays, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. The request by the Big Beaver Big Dogs to hold a 5K in the Ewing Park area and the use of the swimming pool parking lot for those attending on July 26th from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. The request to hold the Ledger 10K race on July 5th beginning at 9 a.m. It is further requested changing facilities at the swimming pool as well as the parking lot from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. the day of the race. And the request by the Ellwood City Youth Soccer League is to use the soccer field at Steeple Park from April 28th through June 4th, Monday, Tuesdays from 4:45 to 5:45 p.m. Also, May 28th. The rain dates will be May 14th, May 21st, and June 4th.
Do I have a motion to accept? Mr. DeCaria, second, Mr. Chiapetta. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Utilities, Mr. McDonald. Knight. Under administration and personnel, let's do the first 5 together and do this separately. If that's not a problem. Okay.
A motion would be in order to rescind the motion of your council meeting held 1/20/14, establishing wages for the non-union employees retroactive to the first pay in January 2014 as follows. Then to establish wages for the non-union employees retroactive to the first pay in January 2014 as follows. To advertise for the position of alternate crossing guard, applications resumes must be due and postmarked by 4 p.m. on March 5th, 14. To advertise for the position of animal control officer, all applicant resumes must be due or postmarked by 4 p.m. on March 5th, 2015. And to advertise to accept proposals for engineering services for civil tool. The proposals must be due or postmarked on or before 4 p.m. 10th, 2014.
Do I have a motion to accept? Mr. McDonald, second. Mrs. Lemenza, any discussion? Yes.
I have one question. Our current animal control, he resigned, he's in office still.
He's still in office. Technically, he has a daylight job till 3 o'clock. So that takes us on, and then after 3 o'clock, I know myself, I've called him numerous times, his phone. So I think he figured it out, that he's getting paid $4,000 and doing very little bit of work. So that's why I want to advertise for new animal control, because I believe we're paying him for services and then I'm getting our money, plain and simple.
Thank you. Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay.
I want to thank council for re-advertising that position. It's greatly needed. So thank you.
Okay, number 6.
A motion would be in order to approve the execution claim deed to the Lawrence County Industrial Development Authority, who will then convey it to Electronite Company. Subject to our agreement with Piraeus Electronite, a summary of the agreement is as follows. The borough will deliver a quitclaim deed for said land known as Lot Number 2A in the Robert E. Casey Enterprise Park. Said parcel will be subdivided and conveyed to the borough along with a right-of-way. The subdivided parcel is for sale. Net proceeds of the sale shall be divided equally between the parties.
Okay. Mr. Chiapetta made a motion, seconded by Mr. Totteridge. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Community planning and permits, Mr. Chiapetta.
A motion would be in order to ratify approval for an emergency housing rehabilitation contract in the amount of $3,000 for 403 Summit Avenue. The contractor on the Drittler and Lemon from Ellwood City. This amount was paid from the rehab repayment.
Motion by Mr. Chiapetta, second by Mr. Totteridge. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Any problem with 2 and 3 going together?
A motion would be in order to approve the housing rehabilitation contract in the amount of $18,000 for 46ville Road, Wayne Township. The contractor on the job is G.H. Earl Construction for Bill. This amount will be paid from the home funds. And to authorize to proceed with to consider budget revisions to the CDBG 2011 and CDBG 2012 contracts, where it is proposed to transfer monies from demolition to housing rehab, to which the funds can be spent more quickly to comply with the grant timeline.
Motion to accept, Mr. Totteridge, second. Mr. Chiapetta, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Buildings and properties, Mr. Chiapetta. Sandblasting and painting.
A motion would be in order to proceed between 9 benches along North Avenue as follows. Sandblasting and painting from Beecham Sandblasting, $1,800, and then to
Second. Mrs. Lomenza, any discussion? What will they be replaced with, if they're sandblasted?
With Trex.
With Trex wood. Okay. All say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Any business?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the soapbox derby proposal to be held Saturday, September 7th, with the rain date for Sunday, September 29th, 2004, at a location to be determined by council.
We have a motion.
What are those dates again?
Saturday and Sunday, September
28th.
Okay. We have a motion. Second. Lomenza, any discussion?
Being on the locations. Can you give some reference?
Yeah, as we talked last week, the public safety and the police and the mayor and the kitchen cabinet and the gentleman from Ambridge can find a good site to have them on these days. The Second Street overpass will be, and other activities that might be going on. You have to check the calendar to find out what else is going on. Is something going over in you? Is there something in town and whatever else? So they'll do their due diligence. We had a motion. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. New business.
A motion would be in order.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Any other new business? Mayor's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to acknowledge all the visitors in attendance this evening. I'd like to see visitors that shows you care about your community. So welcome. And to this council, junior council persons, good seeing both of you coming out on a night like tonight, so thanks for being here. Moving forward, the Ellwood City Police Department has received a grant for a program called Buckle Up. It's targeted for 18-year-olds to start wearing their seatbelts, and this will start taking place. Mandatory in-service training for the police is taking place as we speak. We're on our second week, and it will conclude this Friday. Touched on this crossing guard situation. We have 3 crossing guards. We are in dire need of at least 2. We have 2 parts that are doubling up because of the time frame. So we could use 2. We'll have a floater, and it's an ongoing fee called at 6:30 in the morning to get that covered for our students. So keep that in there, Eric, please. We're in dire need of 2 more crossing leads. Some good notes: the hospital, El Tiber are both observing their 100 years of service of operations here in El. There'll be accommodations coming forward in the next week. 2 excellent facilities here in Ellwood City that I'm proud to have here. As I touched on last week, Marina Owens is now a field here in the Ellwood City Police Department. An excellent addition and long overdue. And we welcome you aboard, Marina. You're a great addition. Speeding still a main concern. Targeted areas coming up Woodside Avenue, 4th Street, and Wampum Avenue. Those are usual places. So warning, we're targeting those areas in the near future. Drug arrests were up to 251. Still same old proactive. We're going to keep on that path. Any questions this time? Thank you, Council. Thank you, Luke. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Manager's report.
I submitted the manager's report last week where I detailed my recommendations regarding actions to be taken by this evening. I'd like to also the community too. Our real estate bills will be out in the mail next month when we approve the duplicate for Mrs. Portagallo. Next year, I would hope to do the real estate tax billing, and if possible, if there's any way we might be able to accelerate that process.
Thank you, Manager. Announcements?
Picnic shelter reservations will begin on the fourth Monday in February, which week, February 24th for borough residents, and beginning on the fourth Monday in March 4th for non-borough residents. And proposals for professional planning and consultants are due on or before 12 p.m. on February 24th, which is next Monday.
I would like to have the proposals for professional planning and consulting services put in the form of a motion. Will somebody make a motion? Chiappetta, second. Mrs. Lemenza, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion will carry. Any new other discussions? Anything good for the whole?
I just want to mention that Mr. McDonald and myself attended the club meeting on Wednesday. It went very well, informative. We had people from PennDOT that they especially voiced their opinion on the agility program. The agility program is a program whereas boroughs and townships join in with PennDOT and they cooperate with one another. More often than not, a PennDOT truck will be going down the road, and if there's not an agility agreement, it will not clean that specific road or highway if it's part of a township or a borough. Our particular case here in Ellwood City, we have an agility agreement, and we're looking into extending that agreement into the future. Also, Mr. McDonald and I were privy to a question as relative to the Greenways Act. Amy McKinney and I'm trying to think of the other lady's other name, the other lady that was there. Danielle. We are going to, as the manager had suggested, we are going to join in with that and whatever endeavors we can do to get ourselves to be part of that action, to be part of those funds going forward relative to a grant. Also, next month I'll be the new president of the Council of Governments in Lawrence County, and thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to adjourn? We are going to have a continuation of an executive meeting after we adjourn for personnel issues. Do I have a motion to Mr. Chiappetta, second? Mrs. Mancini, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? He's adjourned.